Hello, everyone, and welcome to the middle of your week. We've made it. We're almost there, so stick with us. Welcome to the show. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you can read right now.
Happy Hump Day. I'm Monique Tuzon. Anytime is a good time because it's Mo Fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. We have exciting guests today.
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
100%.
guests, finally.
I know. I mean, like, I as much as I like talking to you, it's great. It's great that we have.
I was your guest yesterday.
No, we were each other's guests yesterday, but it's always nice to have company here. Of course, we're going to talk about the Lung Center as well later on for our Weather HQ segment, but then that's not all.
We also have a gay couple that we're guesting, and I actually know her, so I'm excited to hear about their story. We have Agatha and Alex guesting to basically just talk about how they came out and how their love story bloomed.
Of course, and of course may love hack style.
I actually don't know the topic, I think. Do we know the topic?
I don't know, we'll find out together, but
I
that's
like
always
being
a fun. I
surprised
love
with
being
love
surprised.
hacks, unlike Anne.
Yeah, but then the last love hacks we had was actually really great. I mean,
Yesterday,
like it was,
no?
yeah,
That was
it was,
intense.
yeah, it was pretty intense, and the wedding red flags. So
I have a different perspectives now.
You do?
When I go to weddings now, I'm like, ooh, we're gonna watch out for those red flags.
To see if kung
Yeah,
tatagal sila, no?
right?
Oh my gosh, mga marites talaga. But of course, when we take a look at wedding's not a side quest, but then when I was thinking about side quests recently, Victor Wembanyama of the
Wow,
NBA.
ganda ng segue.
Not really. That was kind of rough.
That was nice though.
No, I don't know. But,
yeah, Wemby's in China, right? He's taken up martial arts.
Shaolin. And I don't know if you
Yes.
remember the movie growing up, Shaolin Soccer. It was
No,
it's this
I
Asian
only
movie.
remember Karate Kid.
Karate, yeah, I know, but there was a series of movies, especially, I don't know, basta dito sa Pilipinas, there was a series of movies before that were Shaolin-themed children's movies that palaging dinadub sa Tagalog dati.
Interesting.
And, like, I forgot what it was. I forgot the name, but then there was a time dito sa Pilipinas where there was a lot of dubbed Chinese Shaolin movies that featured kids.
Was this when we were younger? Like
Yeah,
the
like
90s?
literal 90s. So I forgot what it was.
Oh, sana
but
they make a documentary actually of Wemby.
Yeah, well, let's see.
But
Let's
they're
see
not
how-
allowed. The cameras aren't allowed.
Yeah, which is
there.
good.
Yeah.
Let's see how he is next
Let's
season.
see. And he shaved his head.
Yeah,
He's
I think
bald
you
now.
have to be part of
have
that.
to.
Yeah, that's part of it. But then
I
there's
could
a lot.
not recognize
there's a lot going on there.
Wemby. I mean, well, you can recognize him because he's so tall. But
Yeah.
other than
Medyo
that,
lang. And he's so French.
just a bit tall.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we have a lot more to talk about. Of course, stick with us through all throughout. And just in case you're in traffic and you can only catch us online, well, you know what? This is probably the situation you're going through now.
Yes, so let's check the situation in major roads at this hour. Here's what's happening along EDSA Quezon Avenue flyover. On the left side are vehicles going to Quiapo. On the middle and right lanes are vehicles going to Quezon Memorial Circle. This Wednesday, there's barely any traffic yet. I'm saying yet because later there might be. So it's a great time to head out right now. Now let's take a look at EDSA White Plains. On the left side of your screens are vehicles going to Shaw Boulevard. On the right side are for vehicles going to Cubao. And on the left side of your screens, as you can see, traffic is building up. And on the right, traffic is free-flowing. Heads up to motorists, the expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing. It's Wednesday, so vehicles with license plates ending in 5 and 6 should be off the road right about now till 10 a.m. and again from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Let's find out what the weather's going to be like this Wednesday. Paolo has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao Pao.
Thank you so much, Mo. Let's take a look at the low pressure area that we were monitoring, which has now exited the Philippine area of responsibility, but has developed into a tropical depression. Now, as of 3 a.m. today, this tropical depression was located around 555 kilometers west of Bacnotan in La Union, outside of the Philippine area of responsibility. Now, it has a maximum sustained winds of 65 kilometers per hour near the center and gusts of up to 55 kilometers per hour. Now, this is moving northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour. Although this tropical depression will not directly impact the country, the southwest monsoon continues to affect the western sections as well as the southern section of Luzon, bringing mostly cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, particularly over in Zambales, Bataan, and over in Palawan. So this stretch over here, all affected. by the strengthened southwest monsoon. Now, if the tropical depression intensifies, it may eventually pull the southwest monsoon away from the Philippine landmass, leading to warmer and more humid weather in the next few days. Meanwhile, for the rest of the country, let's take a look at that, including Metro Manila and everywhere else. Expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with possible isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Now, this will be mainly in the late afternoon or in the evening due to localized thunderstorms. Now let's take a look at the conditions over our coastal waters, where Pag-asa has not issued any gale warnings anywhere in the country despite the tropical depression nearby. Now in northern Luzon, central Luzon, and the western section of southern Luzon, winds will be light to moderate, with wave heights ranging from 0.6 to 1.8 meters. Now for the rest of the country, winds will also be light to moderate with seas of up to 1.2 meters. Fishermen and sea travelers are advised to stay alert, as thunderstorms may cause sudden wave height increases. Safety at sea, as always, remains our top priority. But that is it for Weather HQ at the moment. Bo, back to you.
Thanks so much, Pao, for that weather update. On to our top stories this morning. A shaky ceasefire began to take hold between Israel and Iran under pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump. This gives hope for an end to the biggest ever military confrontation between the Middle East arch nemesis. Both Iran and Israel sent signals that the 12-day air war had concluded, at least for now. Trump had earlier scolded them for violating a ceasefire he announced Tuesday. Israel has reopened its main airport near Tel Aviv, while Iran's airspace likewise will be reopened. Both Iran and Israel claim victory to the war, but whether the truce will hold up is a major question given the deep mistrust between the two nations.
With an uneasy ceasefire and still plenty of uncertainty in the region, more Filipinos are trying to come home. According to the Department of Migrant Workers, over 300 Filipinos in Israel are requesting repatriation. Meanwhile, the first batch of 31 OFWs returning from the Middle East arrived just last night, after their flight was delayed due to the closure of airspace in Qatar and Bahrain.
The Armed Forces is ready to help Filipinos stranded by the conflict in the Middle East. The AFP says they are supporting the government's initiative to assist Filipinos in Iran and in Israel. Despite the ceasefire, they say contingency measures remain in place. Amid concerns about having EDCA sites in the country, the AFP says all hands are on deck and are ready to deploy its assets if and when the situation calls for it.
Point now, we would not want to speculate on anything that's happening. We would want to hone in on the role of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. At this point in time, we are prepared for any contingencies. We are, of course, doing our mandate and our mission accordingly. And all of this, ang pinaka-focus natin is yung repatriation to make sure that ang mga kababayan natin will come home safe.
Former National Security Advisor Clarita Carlos warned that Iran may reject peace talks after the U.S. bombed 3 of its nuclear sites, calling it a blow to Iranian pride. She added that while it's a long shot, if the U.S. and other major powers like China get directly involved, the Philippines could be dragged into the conflict.
If China, taking advantage of the situation, does something in Taiwan, and then the U.S. pulls our leg into the Taiwan issue, that's the only time, the EDCA sites become relevant.
Meantime, the Department of Foreign Affairs urged all parties to return to the negotiating table to prevent further escalation.
President Bongbong Marcos is showcasing the administration's different approach to the war on drugs. PBBM points out the government's bloodless approach in its anti-drug campaign compared to former President Rodrigo Duterte's bloody crusade, which led to him getting detained at the International Criminal Court. Mr. Marcos says the drug problem is not solved by violence, but through prevention and rehabilitation. This comes after authorities seized shabu worth 8.8 billion pesos, in Luzon coast from their operations earlier this month.
Despite the fact that we do not kill people that are just suspected of having anything to do with drugs, imbis na ganyan ang ginagawa natin, we are handling the drug problem in a different way.
Vice President Sara be dismissed.
What happened to wanting a bloodbath? This question from the House prosecution team after Vice President Sara Duterte moves to dismiss the impeachment complaint against her. The VP had earlier said in a statement that she wanted a bloodbath in her trial. But in her response to the summons, Duterte argued that there is no complaint to face as there are no articles of impeachment presented to court. The defense argues that the complaint was returned to the House of Representatives.
Ito yung tinatawag na wagging the dog, na mas pinapalitaw na mas importante ang procedure kesa constitutional law and principles, substance. Ang importante is the substance. Those who cannot address the substance, they rely on technical procedures, which is what she did here.
The ICC prosecution wants the dismissal of the interim release plea by former President Rodrigo Duterte. The prosecution says Duterte must stay in detention to ensure his attendance in hearings. It adds it's important for Duterte to remain to prevent the obstruction of the investigations. The prosecution also says FPRRD remains an influential figure, citing his recent victory as Davao City Mayor in the midterm elections.
Senator Robin Padilla attempted to draft a resolution for the early release of former President Rodrigo Duterte. In his resolution, Senator Padilla cites various reasons, such as focusing on national unity and the strong support by the people for the former president's return. It was, however, rejected by the Senate Bills and Index section as the 19th Congress had already adjourned. Senator Padilla says he will try once again once the 20th Congress convenes.
The resolution drafted by Senator Padilla cannot influence the case of former President Rodrigo Duterte in The Hague, as the ICC has already established jurisdiction over it. In an interview on BNC's agenda, ML Party List Representative-elect Laila De Lima added that any proposal from the Senate would have no legal impact on ICC proceedings and called it a propaganda move to avoid accountability.
Hindi nila pwedeng pakialaman ng ICC. Sakali man ma-approve yan by the required majority, uulitin ko po yung sinabi ko na wala naman itong magiging effect sa ICC. Maano lang yan, another sa kanila, mga propaganda moves na umiiwas sila sa accountability para palakasin ang loob ng mga Duterte supporters, lalo na yung mga fanatics. Pero legally, ay wala dapat yan epekto.
In world news, NATO leaders gather for a two-day gathering in The Hague, the Netherlands. The NATO summit is intended to signal to Russian President Vladimir Putin that NATO is united despite the U.S.'s past criticism and determined to expand and upgrade its defenses against Moscow. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky warned European NATO members that they risk being attacked by Russia if it was not defeated in Ukraine. Trump is expected to meet Zelensky during the summit to talk about ways to put pressure on Putin. The Kremlin accuses NATO of rampant militarization and portraying Russia as, quote, friend of hell to justify its big defense spending. NATO was founded by 12 Western countries in 1949 to resist the threat from the communist Soviet Union.
Over in sports, a familiar foe awaits Filipino tennis sensation Alex Ayala at the Esports Open in the United Kingdom. The newly minted world number 74 will face the 20th ranked and former Esports champion Elena Ostapenko in the round of 16 tonight. Ayala previously beat Ostapenko earlier this year at the Miami Open, their only head-to-head meeting thus far. This is her final warm-up before her Wimbledon main draw debut later this month. Now, over in the NBA, the champs are here. The party is on in Oklahoma City as the Thunder celebrate their first championship. The Thunder fans packed the streets despite the silting conditions during Tuesday's victory parade in OKC. The Thunder capped off a remarkable season by defeating the Indiana Pacers in a thrilling 7-game final series. The man of the moment, season MVP and finals MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, says our path to the championship makes this even more fulfilling.
Don't ever forget this. Like, moments in life like this, they don't come and go often. Make sure you guys enjoy this moment with your family, your friends, your loved ones. Everyone that helped you and us get here. And don't forget who they are. Don't ever turn your back on them. Just like us as a team, just like us as a community, just like us as a city of Oklahoma. A lot of the world doesn't see it, like you said, but everybody in this arena, in this city, that has been with me for the last 6 years. They were chanting MVP when I was averaging 19 points on a 20-win team. They understand. They know exactly what it takes and what it looks like. And without them, we are not this.
Meanwhile, French NBA phenom Victor Wembanyama completes an unlikely side quest in China. The San Antonio Spurs big man posted pictures from his retreat at the Shaolin Temple in Dongfang, when Wemby got his head shaved and channeled his inner Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Bruce Lee's Game of Death. From training in martial arts to moments in meditation, Wemby was in full monk mode on this mini retreat. Wembanyama averaged 24 points, 11 rebounds, and close to 4 assists per game this season, but his campaign was cut short due to a season-ending blood clot diagnosis in his right shoulder.
Wemby looks so chill. I'm looking at the photos and he looks very zen.
I mean, like, if you spend that much time with the Shaolin monks, you probably are. I'm wondering what he could actually do now physically. Because
he was injured, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, he was injured. I mean, that the blood diagnosis is obviously unfortunate. But then, will he have Shaolin-like moves in his game now?
There's a photo. He looks like he's starting to have them. He looks more flexible.
No, exactly. First of all, can you do that?
No, I can't.
Exactly.
I'm not flexible at all. How long do they normally stay? Do you know?
I don't know how long in particular.
I wonder if he'll be there like all of off season.
But you know, I mean, like, I am so interested.
His photos look nice.
Yeah, that was before he shaved his head, obviously, though. But yeah, I mean, like, let's see what he could do. He is longer than his bow staff.
Yeah, his legs. Look at that.
Let's see what happens once he comes back to the NBA. All I know is that if there's going to be a brawl in the NBA, you probably don't want to be facing Wembanyama.
Yeah, don't mess with Wemby.
You'll have like a 7-foot-something person just going all Shaolin on you, right?
That's not gonna be great. Though.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't wait to see Wemby this season. Well, now we have more entertainment news for you. Catherine Bernardo and Alden Richards were among the big winners at the 53rd Box Office Entertainment Awards. The Catherine tandem were recognized as the phenomenal box office king and queen of Philippine cinema. The Don Bell love team of Donnie Pangilinan and Bel Mariano were recognized as the prince and princess of Philippine entertainment, while Kim Chiu and Paolo Avellino were named most popular love team. The awards night is on Saturday, June 28th. Actress and vlogger Ivana Alawi has responded to allegations of having an affair with billionaire Congressman Albi Benitez. In her latest vlog, Ivana denies being a homewrecker while taking a lie detector test.
Ikaw ba ay nanira ng pamilya?
No. Hindi ako pinalaking manira ng pamilya. I respect family kasi kami nga broken family. Ano to? Tapos maninira ako ng family. Sira ulo ka pala eh. Okay.
Ivana has been in the news recently after getting caught up in a complaint by Nikki Benitez against her husband, Congressman Albi, for violating the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act. The congressman has denied the allegations. On to some lighter news. The Black Eyed Peas lit up France with a sold-out tour kickoff, drawing over 3,000 fans for a night of throwback hits. The crowd went wild as the group performed classics like Where Is the Love? Let's Get It Started and I Got a Feeling, complete with a fireworks display. Fans danced, jumped, and sang every lyric by heart, proving the party's far from over.
You know, after 9/11, we made Where's the Love and Let's Get Started. After the recession and the housing crisis, we did I Got a Feeling. After COVID, we did Mamacita, Girl Like Me, and Vida Loca. And so, you know, we're going to respond.
The group is set to perform in the Philippines this August, their first concert here in nearly 14 years. I gotta get tickets for that.
Yeah, I mean,
have
like,
to see them.
a Black Eyed Peas, well, at least for our generation,
Yeah.
right? It was a soundtrack of our college.
Soundtrack of my life, honestly, not just college.
Well, fair. I mean, like, I think when Where's the Love came out, it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
And of course, we all still remember Fergie. Fergie
Fergie Ferg, made me love you long time.
But then, you know, she's not there anymore.
I
And
know.
she's typically replaced by Del Rezo, the Filipina R&B artist as well. So it's great that we're gonna have a bit of that. I'm not sure if she's the one going to be here.
I'm not
I think
sure
she is.
who
I think she is.
It is, but when I saw Apple the app before, I asked him about their new frontliner who's not Fergie, and he said she's just as good. So
Yeah.
I
No,
can't
she's
wait.
fantastic. To be honest,
Yeah.
she's great. And I'm sure the concert here will be amazing
I have
as
to
well.
get tickets. Is it sold out na ba?
We'll find
It's
out
in
together.
August, no? That's
Again,
in 2 months.
I know Anne is not here, but then Mo has a request. Mo.
Hello, Black Eyed Peas. I would love to see you, and I would love to sing with you. Want to sing though?
Sing with them?
Sing.
Oh.
No. Just mute my mic. I just want to be up there singing and jamming with you guys because literally I grew up listening to them.
I think it's the first time na nag-request ka to be part of the performance.
Oh,
ano?
not just tickets,
No,
part of the
hindi na tickets eh. Can you take me up on stage? No.
I want to sing Where's the Love? No, the Apple song. Oh, y'all know. I was singing this for you guys the other day. The Tagalog Apple the App song.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, see, magaling ako. Yeah.
There's a reason why na hindi po siya artista. But of course, when they do come on over, I'm sure it's gonna be a great party. Of course, there's a lot of love for Apple the App here in the Philippines.
Yes.
He's here a lot. He's a lot of projects. And of course, when the concert does come about, I'm sure you'll find a way to get your.
Oh
to get
yeah,
in
I'm
there.
gonna go. So, performer,
Hopefully not on
performer
stage,
or
though.
not.
Hopefully
I'll
not
be
on stage.
I'll be there. But speaking of love, we continue our Pride Month celebrations here on the show, and we put the spotlight on couples that prove love wins. Agatha Uvero and attorney Alex Castro will join us live after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. You're still watching. It's a beautiful day. We're gonna try and change things up for our Pride Month celebrations. Today, we put the spotlight on LGBTQ plus couples that prove love wins. Joining us live via Zoom are Agatha Uvero and attorney Alex Castro. It's a beautiful day, Agatha and Alex.
Hi. Hi, morning.
Good morning, guys. I have no words because I'm just looking at y'all, and y'all are both so beautiful. You guys are glowing on our screens.
Thank you. I got you.
Aw, thanks. Well, I want to know, how did you guys meet? What were your guys' first impression when you met? Was it love at first sight or was it a slow burn?
Well, we're both from UP. That's how we came to know of each other. Agatha was also very visible when it comes to the gender, women's scene, I guess.
Yeah, like women's empowerment.
Yeah, so I saw her as that. So she was this very vocal, a person who wasn't afraid to speak on those issues. So my first impression of her was, well, I was very impressed with her bravery at the time, how intelligent she was, how smart she was, and yeah, how willing she was to just speak about these issues. So, well, for me, I guess it was attraction, you can say, at first sight, because of that. But yeah, we've known each other for years, but we didn't really.
We've known of each other, but we never really had like a moment where we talked to each other or we were formally introduced to each other, because Alex, so since she mentioned we're both from UP, Alex also was the student council chair in UP, chairperson in UP. So, but we didn't.
It was ages ago.
Yeah, that was ages. But we didn't reach each other. And then I was the courtside reporter. So I don't know, we kind of moved around similar circles, I guess, but we never, our paths never really crossed, like in those places where they could have. I don't know if you know about the red string theory, but that's like something we always talk about, because it's like we were in the same places, in the same almost situations sometimes, but we never really met until we were meant to meet. So how we met? You wanna take this one?
So I guess you can say when we first really met and sat down together, it was probably like, I don't know, 7 years, 8, 9 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a really long time, but we've known each other for a very long time. So when we sat down together to, I guess, meet and maybe explore things
in
a bit.
person.
Yeah, from that first meeting, it was crazy because it was just like fireworks.
Yeah, I think it's an attraction for sure. With us, the way that it kind of showed itself, when we first met in person, I couldn't look her in the eyes. I really couldn't. I asked her if she could sit by my side, and then we were talking because I was so nervous, but it was exciting. We looked like we were being tickled, that smiling.
Yeah.
So we sat next to each other just like this, and then we were talking, and then I was looking straight, and then I was telling her don't look at me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Agatha, you mentioned being nervous. Can you tell us why, or rather where that came from? And of course, did you ever get over being nervous and realize, uy, baka butterflies to, hindi to talaga nervyos?
You know what? Actually, I'm glad you asked that, because I feel like that's such an important marker for me. Because before Alex, I wasn't really out. I dated some women, but it wasn't something that I was very public about. And then I had public relationships with men. So I always felt like when I was dating men, I wasn't as nervous. I was like, oh, this is normal. And then when I met her, when I was going to meet her, before she arrived, because I was there first, I was so nervous. And then I was kind of talking to myself in the bathroom. I was like, what's going on? So that's how I knew that this was something special. And then I think it was a mixture of excitement, and I guess I didn't know how to go about it, because there's, I guess it's also something to do with me finally giving myself the chance to explore something that I'm actually quite excited about.
Yeah, Agatha, you mentioned you dated guys before dating Alex. How was that coming out, and especially being a public figure, how was the pressures of coming out as a queer person?
Oh, okay. That's a funny story, because when we started talking, I was telling her how, no, I've always kind of alluded to it, me being queer, but no one believed me. Because I actually mentioned it a lot in little kind of, what do you call them? Like clues.
Yeah.
Every now.
Yeah, she was leaving these small clues that no one could get, I guess, in the captions of her photos, in her tweets. Yeah.
And honestly, because I came from studying in an all-girls school, so I knew since I was 16 that I was queer. So I've known for a long time. Unfortunately for me, I came out to someone in my family who said to me at that time, at 16 years old, that maybe this is a phase.
Phase, yeah.
Right? So that's pretty common. I think people think it's not something that's so harmful, but when you're trying to figure out something that is kind of difficult to understand, it's when you're being told that it's a phase, you kind of second guess yourself. So for a long time, I felt that as I was exploring my sexuality, that I had to be completely sure before I came out with something so definitive, like a statement, right? But yeah, and then so even if I was kind of, being a queer person, it wasn't until I met someone, Alex, that I felt like, okay, no, I'm 100% sure. And I think maybe this is going to be enough for people to actually believe that I am queer. Some people might think that it's still, a phase. I get that sometimes, especially being, someone in the public eye. But honestly, like, I've been this way since for a long time, and I think I've been very careful about what I share and what I keep to myself. And sometimes the most precious things you hold close to your heart until it.
Yeah. So in poorly put, it's not news to you, and for some people it might be, but again, it's not something that medyo biglaan on your part. And Attorney, actually, I want to talk a bit about you and your background as well, because you are a Bausi lawyer, and at the same time, you also mentioned the fact that Agatha would advocate for women's rights even back in college. I mean, you talk about your current profession, her advocacies in the past. How important were all of that put together in terms of how this relationship is shaping up?
Wow. Well, first off, I'm in no way a perfect, pristine, person or partner. I'm still working on some things, but what I learned from my profession, which I'm able to apply to my personal relationships, especially with Agatha, is really valuing. Well, it's so basic, but sometimes I think people miss the whole point. It's really valuing the concept of consent. So in our relationship, we try to exercise that in, just everything, not even just the big things like big decisions, decisions when it comes to like the relationship in general, or maybe some other aspects of it, like literally everything. So even just, for example, deciding where to eat, I guess, or what to eat, or just those small things, that we get to exercise it, and just it helps that make it a core factor or element of our relationship. So that's really what I tell people whenever they say that, for example, like, okay, you're a Bausi lawyer, aren't you maybe just a little bit more strict, or like, aren't, I don't know, people I think have this impression of me being this stuck-up person when it comes to personal relationships, like there's no fun in it. But we always, but we always talk about it, that's what makes the relationship even more fun, when you know that you're both consenting to like everything. So it's a joint partnership experience. So I guess that's how my career, my profession helps out with not just Agatha and me, but also just how I deal with people in general.
I think also because like when you're a lawyer, you handle a lot of stuff. And I think like with us, the both of us, we share the same passion, I guess, for these things, and the same advocacy. So at the end of the day, we understand each other. when she gets a little bit busy. But at the same time, it adds to like the pride I think we feel for each other whenever we do our own things. We both share that passion, and it becomes like something we bond over.
I love the connection that you girls have. I really feel it. Personally, I cannot help but smile every time we roll your material and you basically recreated the pottery scene from Ghost. This is a deep cut as a 90s baby that I'm so happy that you referenced that. So I'm gonna toss it over to Mona because that's all I could think about right now. So.
You guys should have seen Paolo literally cheesing when he saw y'all's photos. It's really cute. Okay, I don't know what he's doing.
You don't know that? Oh my gosh.
I haven't seen it. I'm so sorry.
No. Oh, go ahead.
Don't hate me. But anyway, since you guys... I'll watch it after the show, promise, so I can get the reference. Wait, direct, let's go to Ayan, you split screen na pala tayo.
Go.
But anyway, Alex, you're a lawyer, and Agatha, you're a public figure. How do you guys handle the pressure? And when people misunderstand you guys, and especially with the same-sex couple, how do you guys handle that?
Well, it's still something we're trying to navigate because it does get frustrating sometimes. I wanted to say earlier that I've been in the lesbian scene for maybe more than 3 decades now. Mm-hmm. But I get the exact same reaction still that Agatha gets. People still question, like maybe it's just a phase. Like, maybe you girls are just having your fun and then you'll revert back to what's normal eventually. Or like, it's those microaggressions, I guess.
Yeah.
It does frustrating sometimes. We're still trying to, even on a personal and a relationship level, we're still trying to figure out how to manage it and navigate it without, getting hit too much, I guess. But what we just try to remember every time we encounter experiences like that or phrases like that, people who judge us, we just try to think that, number one, we're lucky we have each other. Some people don't have the kind of support that we have right now. Mm-hmm. And then second, we just try to think that, we have this platform, we have this opportunity to try to educate, maybe make people understand. So we stretch our patience a bit when it comes to that. And then we just think of those people that, if we don't give effort when it comes to trying to make people understand, just think about the other queer kids, who also won't have that opportunity to interact with people who have been educated about this issue.
Yeah.
So it's harder for them.
Yeah, I want to jump in because I want to ask Agatha as well, because you mentioned quote-unquote normal. Agatha, when we talk about quote-unquote normal, when this is actually normal for you without air quotes, just what goes through your mind in terms of trying to assert yourself, first and foremost, and second, in terms of normalizing what is normal to you, even if it might be a bit foreign to other people?
I think people don't realize that when I made the transition like I said, right? Like I've been living this life privately. Mm-hmm. And then when I made the transition into living it publicly, it really set me free. And then it also kind of felt like finally, as opposed to before, that I'm able to live the normal, what feels normal. Like I felt that prior to this, everything just didn't fit with me. Like it didn't feel right. And then now this is what's normal for me. So I think there's like a piece in that I kind of hang on to. So whenever people try to, ask me for an explanation or they want, thankfully with me, people have been wanting to understand. And I guess whenever that comes up, like people about what it's like, or when they try to understand, I have the I guess, the grace to explain myself just because I'm finally able to live that peaceful life, the happiness that I have. So I have the energy to explain. And then when people don't understand, I I take comfort, I guess, in the fact that there are people out there who have their own biases and prejudices. So, sometimes even if you explain yourself to them in the best way that you can, they're already hell bent on not understanding you. So that's out of your hands. Some things you can control, some things you can't, and you have to choose your battles. At the end of the day, we feel happy and with each other, and I'm happy with where I'm at. So I think I'll just continue, like with us, we'll just continue to explain it to other people. Hopefully, someone out there like me back when I was in high school, when I was scared to come out, might hear it and feel comfortable to, to come out and or to explore the life that they might want to have.
Yeah, Agatha and Alex, I wish we can talk for hours about this, and it's going by so quickly. But real quick, before we let you guys go, what are y'all's message to the next generation of the LGBTQ plus youth who are struggling to find their identity, struggling to come out? What are your words for them?
Well, there's a very big, loving, accepting community that's just here, ready to support them, waiting for them. I think it's important for them to understand that. We always talk about this on a personal level. I think we all have that common experience of, especially when you decide to come out, that you feel you're alone. You're usually left by the people you consider as friends or family. So the path is very difficult. It can get very lonely. But I think so it's important that they understand that, and they always remember that you're not alone. Again, there's a community that's ready to love you, embrace you, and just accept you for who you are.
Attorney, sorry, Agatha, go ahead.
Yeah, to add to that lang, because with us, like Alex has been out for a long time. She's been, an advocate for a long time of the LGBTQ. So with me naman, I think my message would be, it doesn't matter how you do it or when you do it. There are still people out there who are still waiting to come out or might feel intimidated too because maybe they feel like they don't fit a certain mold. Like, a lot of people would say na, oh, with me, I'm very basic in terms of how I dress, or I'm very femme presenting.
Yeah.
But so they wouldn't expect that from me, I guess, based off of stereotypes. But it doesn't matter how or when you do it, as long as you feel like it's the right time. Maybe it's not now, but part of the community, even if you're struggling to come out. And when the time is right, then you'll have your chance to do it.
Attorney, I don't want to put you on the spot, but then, we were watching the entire interview and just seeing your reactions to each other. And how does it feel seeing Agatha be so open and honest about all of this? Because it feels that it's not easy, as you girls mentioned a while ago, pero this type of platform, this type of honesty, it doesn't come in and around very often.
I love that question. To answer it directly, I'm so, and I always tell her this almost on a daily, weekly basis. I'm so proud of her. And the thing about her is, and why this is such a, I see how big of a gesture this is, because I mentioned earlier, I've been in the queer scene for 3 decades now. Agatha has just recently decided to publicly come out, So you have no idea. She was talking earlier about how people would question her, how people would keep saying that, maybe it's a phase. You came out too late, so maybe you're just having some confusion right now. It's actually crazier, the amount of doubt and then the stereotypes, the judgment she gets compared to, I guess, mine has dwindled down a bit, because came out way earlier. But for her, at this point in her life, I see how more difficult probably or more complicated the experience has been for her. So for her to do this, and then I see how she has just like embraced this. I mean, it gives her peace also, but the amount that she gives back also to the community. She mentioned like the kids. We always talk about this, the teens, and not just even them, the people who have been maybe reluctant to come out until a later stage in their life. The amount of inspiration she gives to them, it's incredible. I've seen it a lot of times already. So for her to do this, I'm just extremely proud of her.
No, the amount of inspiration you're giving everybody here. Your story is amazing. And I love getting to know and chatting with you guys, and especially the way we're looking at you guys on the camera. We can really see y'all are so in love, and it's so, so cute. But before we let you go, Agatha, belated happy birthday! Yesterday was your birthday!
Happy
So
birthday.
we're greeting you here from the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.
No, it's the pleasure's all ours. Thank you so much for your sharing your story, inspiring those who are watching, and hopefully we can have you again sometime soon in the future as well. Also, thank you so much for reminding me about the movie Ghost, which
I'm definitely gonna
Monique
watch.
has never seen it, and she is missing out on the best pottery scene ever made in film history. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, my love. Go say bye now. My darling.
Thank you, Agatha and Alex. I'll definitely reach out to you guys. We can watch Ghost together.
Thank you, Paolo. We'd love to come again next time.
Yeah, come to the studio next time.
Let's do
Instead of
pottery
Zoom.
together.
Let's do that. Let's do a segment while we're doing pottery.
I love it so much. Thank you so much, girls. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Agatha Uvero and attorney Alex Castro.
You have to.
But you made me booking na naman on this show.
No, to be fair, that movie came out in 1990. I had to watch
wasn't born
it.
yet.
I was like 0 years old.
Yeah, I
Pero
was still a thought.
literal, I had to I watched it years gone by, and until now, it is the most iconic pottery scene in
so sad.
human
I am
history.
missing out on so much.
And that's where Unchained Melody became one of the best hits.
What? Okay, I have to go see this. Yeah, you've been doing that the whole segment.
I'm so it's great. Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze. I mean, it's
Oh, what a great cast.
it's incredible. All right,
Okay, I
you just
can't wait.
gotta watch it.
Sige,
It's
I'll
so
watch
fun.
It. And when I watch it, when I say naman I'll watch it, I'll watch it.
Yeah, but then serious message though.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that Agatha and Attorney Alex were so honest.
I know.
And very
it's
open.
rare to have that.
Yeah.
So it's great to see them inspiring not just the LGBTQ plus community, but the next generation with their story. It's really touching.
Yeah, and that was really important because I don't want the key takeaway from this to be let's rewatch Ghost. All right, so again, go check them out on their social media, and of course, hopefully you guys did enjoy that interview that we've made, and hopefully it did inspire a few people and get
And
them
open
a
up
braver.
dialogue, especially.
100%, the dialogue, the most important part. Now we got more stories for you after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Thank you so much for joining us. Good news for thousands of Filipinos who rely on maintenance medications every day. The list of medicines exempted from value-added tax has been expanded to include drugs for diabetes, high cholesterol, hypertension, certain types of cancer, and mental illness. President Marcos has earlier announced the move during a visit to the National Kidney and Transplant Institute, saying it will help lower medicine prices.
Pinarami pa namin ang listahan ng gamot para dito sa ating mga pasyente na hindi na VAT-free, hindi na magbabayad ng buwis pagpasok upang maibaba natin ang presyo ng mga gamot.
Experts emphasize that health is wealth, thus still urging the public to maintain a healthy lifestyle through proper diet and regular exercise.
Health economists raise the alarm on obesity for its supposed economic impact. Experts say obesity in the Philippines cost about 2 trillion pesos in economic burden. This includes healthcare coverage and productivity. PhilHealth spends about 28 billion pesos in hemodialysis and obesity-related complication. Kidney transplant and angioplasty also cost hundreds of thousands per case. Experts suggest a preventative program to help address the problem.
Whole of government, whole of system, and whole of society approach is very important. The government cannot and the government won't be able to solve everything, but it really needs and it really asks for private involvement and participation.
In response, a study is now underway to look into the pathological and economic burden of obesity. This in the future will help build a model in health budgeting, corporate wellness investments, and national health policies.
Two legends, one red carpet. Hollywood superstars Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise reunite for the first time in over 2 decades. This is for the London premiere of Pitt's newest film, F1. Reports say it was a surprise appearance by the Mission Impossible main man. The two were last seen together publicly in 2001, 24 years ago, for a 9/11 benefit concert in Los Angeles. They last co-starred in a movie back in 1994. Mo was just born for Interview with the Vampire.
No, 1 year before. I was born 93. Close enough.
Well, after.
Huh?
94.
Yeah, so I
Year
was just
after.
born. I was just born the year before that.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
But I didn't realize they haven't seen each other in that long.
Well, I'm sure.
I didn't realize.
No, publicly they haven't been seen with each other, but maybe
I
privately.
was like, I'm sure they hang out, but I don't know why they haven't done a public appearance in that long.
Actually, I didn't realize that it would take so long for them to make a movie together. Well, first of all, there is no project in the works yet between Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. But that last movie, Interview with a Vampire, I think it also starred Kirsten Dunst.
Oh yeah, I love
Back
Kirsten
in
Dunst.
1994. Good movie. None of them won individual awards, but then something to go back to as well. It's really interesting.
I would love to see them in a movie. What kind of movie do you think the two of them will be in? Like some action movie for sure.
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. The Expendables having because the older action stars coming together again.
That would be so cool.
Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
How amazing would that be, honestly?
Yeah, I know.
Another Mission Impossible.
Look. We said the word Tom Cruise. So you know what's happening? Our host. By the way, we still have another host, si Ann Asis Carillo.
Who's that? I'm sorry. Ann, I miss you. I'm just joking.
Oh no!
I'm just joking.
Oh,
I love
no.
you, Ann. Come back.
Oh my gosh! Just smile through the pain, okay? No, but I mean, like when you take a look, when you mentioned Anne and then you mentioned Tom Cruise, she's going to do her Tom Cruise running impression.
Her running like this. I'll do it for Anne
which
right
is
now.
no good, by the way. It's a terrible
Wait,
expression.
pero she went viral on TikTok for that, yata? No.
Did she?
I think so. She was bragging about it. She was very proud of her Tom Cruise running. But we just miss you, Anne. Come back so you can run here. Run here from LA.
No. I mean, like, well, that put a smile to my face. But anyway, after the break, I'll speak with Dr. Jessica Catalan Legarda from the Lung Center of the Philippines to unpack the health dangers, the vaping surge, and the environmental toll of tobacco. Now, stay with us. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Now, as we mark National No Smoking Month, we face a serious setback. 9.5 million new smokers, mostly the youth, started smoking from 2021 to 2023. Now, to help us understand the health, social, and environmental impacts of this crisis, we are joined via Zoom by Dr. Jessica Catalan-Legarda, the Program Director for Smoking Cessation and Chairperson of the Advocacy Program at the Lung Center of the Philippines. Magandang umaga, Dr. Legarda. It's a beautiful day.
Magandang umaga, Paolo. It's a beautiful day.
Doc, let's start off first with that stat. 9.5 million new smokers from 2021 to 2023. When you take a look at the implications, the causes, what comes first in your mind po?
Yes, it really concerns us, especially the healthcare sector. Because of the 9.5 million new smokers in 2023, take note, Paolo, that almost 1 million dyan na new smokers and vapors are aged 10 to 19 years of age. Meaning, these are children and young teens who were initiated early into smoking and vaping. So years and months after, pag na-initiate na siya sa smoking and vaping, eventually, they will suffer early onset diseases, no? So pwedeng laging prone sila to develop respiratory infections. If they have asthma, pwedeng magkaroon ng frequent exacerbations and other early age onset diseases. So itong tinatawag natin, Paula, na younger generations who are supposed to be the our future, no? Pag-asa ng bayan. So makikita natin yung impact sa health natin. A younger generation, our future workforce na maagang magkakasakit. So napaka-alarming nito sa amin.
Doc, smoking prevalence from 14% in 2021 to 18% in 2023. When you talk about the causes of the reason why more and more people, especially the youth, are smoking, why is that? Is it just because of tobacco? Is it because vaping seems healthier, at least looking at it from the outside looking in and maybe not understanding all the health implications?
Yes, actually, it's a hot issue now. So I think one of the major reasons in the increase in prevalence, I think it's due to the illicit trade of tobacco and tobacco products. So when you have when you have illicit trade, no, maraming supply sa market, making it more affordable, diba, and more accessible sa mga smokers and vapors natin, especially to the young adults. So I think that what we can do is we should enforce stricter regulations, diba? If we can stop illicit trade and increase the taxes of tobacco products, ito yung mga magandang move natin in reducing tobacco use.
What's your view on the increasing use of mga e-cigarettes and vaping in general among people? Because it feels like it's a similar industry, feels like the same industry when it comes to smoking in general, but then there has been an increase of usage when it comes to that. What is the stand of you in the Lung Center of the Philippines?
Okay, e-vaping should not be viewed or used as a safer alternative. It is equally harmful as a cigarette smoking. So maraming mga contents, no, harmful contents in a vape liquid also. And also, we are seeing mga acute diseases na brought about by vape. So we have this e-valley, or e-cigarette vaping associated lung diseases. We were able to document diseases na as early sa mga bata, no? So very equally harmful ang vape with cigarette smoke.
There is a misconception that it is the quote-unquote safer alternative. And when you have people thinking that way, siguro what is the biggest myth that you have to debunk? I know you mentioned a while ago na it is just as dangerous. Pero when people look at it and see that there is a certain lack of, the tobacco, they feel it is a safer alternative. So when you look at all of that together, what are the key myths na kailangan i-bust?
Okay, so remember that vape or cigarettes are equally harmful as cigarette smokers, cigarette, no? So remember na ang vape, may usok din yan. So any usok ay nakakasama sa katawan ng tao. So yun lang dapat yung iisipan nila, no? So usually yan, nakikreate nila na akala nila mabango, maganda, masarap sa pakiramdam. But the bad effects of vape, no? It's very harmful to health.
When we take a look at the role of mga LGU, mga schools in terms of education, especially for the younger sector, considering there are so many different ways to approach tobacco, e-cigarettes, vaping, also, and of course, yung efforts from the Lung Center, especially for this month in particular, just how big is the role of educating the masses, the youth, when it comes to the dangers of all of this?
I think it's very important to educate the general public, and especially yung mga smokers natin and vapers, about the dangers of cigarette smoke and vape. So, of course, aside from educating these people or the general public, kailangan mag-enforce tayo ng strict regulations, no? The local government should enforce strict regulations on prohibiting smoking and vaping in public areas, sa school, sa offices, public terminals and transportations. And mas maganda nga yan sa community, Paolo, i-ban din yung e-cigarette.
Yeah.
Okay? So sa school naman, pwedeng i-enforce yung mga strict measures on banning e-cigarette and vapes in school premises, di ba? And actually, sinasuggest namin sa mga schools to include yung sa curriculum nila yung dangers of smoking and vaping. So para of course, malaman ng mga estudyante na very bad ito sa health nila.
There are calls to raise the legal age of vape use to 25. There are also calls for increased policies and legislative measures when it comes to regulating or even banning certain materials in certain places. You mentioned schools a while ago. What do you feel are the measures that need to be taken more seriously by our legislation to try and encourage a healthier lifestyle, especially when it comes to the issue of smoking, either tobacco, e-cigarettes, or vaping?
Okay, so children and young adults should not be allowed access to e-cigarette and vape. So based on studies, Paolo, children who are initiated early into vaping at a younger age become cigarette smokers, no, during their adult years. So eventually, they become cigarette smokers din pagtanda nila, and worse, nagiging dual users pa. So cigarette and vape. So I think the schools and the local government should enforce stricter regulations to younger generations, yung paggamit ng or access to e-cigarette and vapes. Also, what we can do is to impose penalties, no? To those who violate. Kasi actually pag nahuli ka, no, nag-violate ka, mababa lang naman yung fine. So maybe we can increase the amount of sanction or fine para talagang mag-abide. Okay? And I agree to increasing the legal age of access to vape from 18, currently it's 18 years old, to 21 or higher.
Well, Doc, we wish we had more time. To be honest, we could have a whole podcast on this issue kasi grabe, there are so many bases to cover. But we appreciate the time here. For those who want to reach out and of course find out more about yung mga programs po ninyo, especially when it comes to anti-smoking, anti-vaping, and anti-e-cigarettes, where can they reach out to find out what the Lung Center is doing?
Okay, the Quit Line 1558 is a toll-free nationwide service providing help and assistance to smokers and vapers who want to quit smoking or vaping. So it has been operational since 2017, and it has helped more than 1,000 of smokers and vapers in their quit journey. So it's one of the major flagship program of the Lung Center of the Philippines. So I want to tell na it's never too late to quit. So whenever you're ready, just dial 1558.
Thank you so much. She's the Program Director for Smoking Cessation and Chairperson of the Advocacy Program at the Lung Center of the Philippines, Dr. Jessica Catalan-Legarda. Maraming salamat po. Thank you so much for joining us on It's a Beautiful Day.
Thank you, Paolo.
All right, so that is it for Weather HQ at the moment. Mo, back to you.
Thanks, pal. What do the stars have in store for us this Wednesday? Let's find out from our resident morning hype man and feng shui master, Hans Kua, in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for Wednesday, June 25. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, be ready sa new project at challenges sa trabaho. Raset at Tree. Kayo of the Ox naman tayo, pag-isipan mo ng maigi bago pumasok sa isang malaking investment. Lilac at 5. Kay Tiger naman, set time para ma-light exercise kagaya ng jogging o kaya mga yoga. Pink at 1. Kay Rabbit naman tayo, maging mas open sa iyong partner. Ang pag-unawa ang susi sa masayang relasyon. Teal at 2. Drago naman tayo, mag-ingat sa mga kinakain upang maiwasan ang indigestion. Purple at 7. Sa kay Snake naman tayo, ang pagiging matyagain ay magdadala ng success! Indigo at 4. Ito naman, King of the Horsey. Magandang araw upang suriin ang mga financial goal plan mo. Crimson at 8. Kay Ship naman tayo, may posibilidad ng bagong proyekto na magdadala ng excitement. Lavender at 9. Kay of the Monkey, may isang tao makakatulong sa career advancement. Green at 3. Kay Rooster naman tayo, mag-focus sa mental health. Relax ka lang. At iwasan, avoid overthinking. Mint at 5. Sa mga Year of the Dog, maging active para iwasan ang sakit. Vermilon at 7. Kay Year of the Pig naman tayo, magpahinga pag may time para hindi manghina. Paalala lang, ito po'y patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan araw-araw ang horoscope of the day. Dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day with me, Master Hans Kua.
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua! Kaya?
Pwede kaya.
Wow.
Pwede na.
Mine was longer.
No. Yeah. I could have done it for longer, malabang. It sounds like I'm holding my breath.
Anyway, Filipinos are naturally family-oriented, and that means when you date a Filipina, you have to take out her mama, papa, titas, lolas, and her siblings. Here's your guide to wooing the final boss, aka her family. Take it away, Coach V.
Good morning, loves. It's a beautiful day. Coach V here, your love solution provider, bringing you a brand new way to level up your love life. Welcome to Love Hacks. Let us get real, my loves. In Filipino dating, ligaw is not dead. It just evolved. And in the age of dating apps, Instagram stories, and soft launches, the man who still knows how to court the family is the one who stands out. Whether you're Pinoy, Afam, Gen Z, or Gen Scene Zoned, listen up, because today we are hacking the modern art of ligaw the family. Let's get one thing straight, Puna Loves. Kilig is not commitment, ah. And if you think dating is a Filipina ends with just the two of you and cute IG post, you're missing the part where her entire barangay has an opinion and possibly a group chat about you. So here's a Reddit post coming from a guy who's wondering if courting a Filipina woman's family is still a key to her heart.
Hey guys, I know that in the Filipino culture, families expect some cultural stuff, like small things such as mano to elders or ligaw to the parents. Now, I never had to do anything like this. My family-in-law welcomed me so well that they tried to match my own culture in Europe, instead of expecting me to match theirs. Did you also experience the same? Well, my family-in-law is from NCR in the middle class. I know it's very different in the countryside where it's more quote-unquote traditional.
Thank you, Pao. Well, loves, not every Filipino family demands harana under the window or giving manok or chicken sa tatay. But here's the truth. Courting a Filipina without making effort toward her family is like proposing with no ring. You can date her, sure, but you won't last unless her people feel safe with you. And you know what? Science agrees. Yes, some modern Pinoy families, especially in cities, are more adaptive. But make no mistake, courting the family is still deeply respected and for a good reason. Now, here's the science behind why ligaw or courtship still works better than lazy flirting or love bombing. Number 1, effort builds attachment. In fact, according to an evolutionary psychology study, we value what we invest. If you're willing to show up at 10 a.m. and chop vegetables beside her lola, that says you're not just here for the thrill. You're here for the whole tribe. Number 2, social proof builds trust. According to Dr. Sue Johnson, secure bonds thrive in community. Courting her parents doesn't just earn points, it builds emotional safety. If you can win her over, or you can win over her dad without faking it, she'll trust you deeper. Third, mirror neurons make you belong. Even a foreigner doing mano po lights up mirror neurons in the Filipino brain. That's how they go from outsider to inaanak. Respect is the real universal language. Mo and Pao, so what do you think are some of the modern ways people exhibit the courtship as part of our Filipino culture?
I think the family thing, right? It has to be...
I don't think it's a modern way. I think it's always like this.
For at least in the Philippines, right? It's contemporary. It's a traditional, and I think contemporary that you kind of have to win over the family as well. Because to be honest, I don't know a lot of girls that I've gone out with that would go out with me if their family didn't approve.
Right, actually. No, it's a big thing for me because, right, I grew up in the US, so when guys make you ligaw in the US, they don't really court your family, they just court you. So when I started dating my boyfriend, it was the complete opposite. He really courted my whole family.
Pero hindi siya kinort daw.
Not me, my family. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, like it's
Yung family mo lang.
Exactly. No, like literally
that's enough.
kudos to Filipino men because y'all really do the work. It's crazy. It's a different thing, which I really appreciate. So keep doing it.
Let's go, boys.
I agree with you, Mo. Sometimes nga, the Filipino gents will ask me, Coach V, paano ba yan? Talong-talo na kami sa AFAM. I said, I beg to disagree. You know how to court a woman by heart, courting their family. That's still your advantage. Now, here's how to ligaw the family 2025 edition. Number 1, replace flowers with food. Alam niyo naman, alam niyo naman ang mga Pinoy, skip niyo na yung mga bouquet, but bring ulam or viand.
Or you can do both, flowers and food.
Perfect. Her mom doesn't want promises. She wants proof that you care through pansit. Siyempre,
or yung pinya na may mga hotdog na naka,
Pinoy na Pinoy.
Hotdog with marshmallow.
Eto pa, my loves, napapansin nyo ba when a foreigner starts speaking in Tagalog, di ba parang napapasmile yung Pinoy? So learn at least one Tagalog phrase and use it well. You can say something like, masarap po, with full eye contact and gratitude. That line, more powerful than a love confession. Number 3, observe more than perform. You don't need to impress agad-agad. You need to respect. Watch how her dad moves. Listen when her lola tells a history. And presence is power. And 4, know the magic words. Say something like, masarap po magluto ang anak nyo. 1 sentence, 10 points, 1 future wife secured. And finally, know her dad isn't just her dad. He's HR, he's interviewer, and potentially your spiritual evaluator. If he asks you, anong plano mo sa anak mo, or what's your plan with my daughter, you better not answer well with, we vibe well. That's not enough. Now, my loves, here are your 3 modern ligaw starter pack. Nako, how do you express courtship in this modern generation? Number 1, the pasimpleng harana 2.0. Instead of guitar, now people send Spotify playlist with titles that form a hidden message. You know why it works? Because it triggers novelty and attention bias. Our brains love to decode hidden signals. So, yung mga playlist could be a mix of kundiman, R&B, and one international hit that matches her vibe. Effort meets taste tayo dito. Number 2, here you go. The pamamanhikan can also be done through Zoom or Facebook messages now. He sets a short, respectful convo with her parents and her family online. O, diba? That does not exist before. But now, you can already introduce yourself online. And why it works? Because Filipino courtship is tribal. You're courting a clan and not just a girl. So if you cannot reach the members in person, reach them through Facebook. Now, He opens the conversation with something like, well, I know online is not a traditional way, but your daughter is worth doing things differently for. Oh, diba? How creative. Number 3, eto naman. Very important pa din sa mga Pinoy is the low-key provider flex. Nota, dapat low-key lang. He doesn't boast. He just provides. Helps with her thesis, pays for her mom's medical needs when needed, and send her dog vitamins. Sometimes it's the small things that counts. And why does this work? Because provision signals commitment. Quiet power is more attractive than loud money. And so he can say something like, let me take care of it. And he actually does. That is Huggy Points 100. Now, my love, in a culture where family is sacred, courting the woman means courting her world. And the guy who wins isn't the one with the biggest budget. It's the one with the most consistent effort. That's it for today, loves. This is Coach V giving you real talk about real love. DMing your love dilemmas at Dating Coach V. And let's not just talk about love. Let's solve it. See you again tomorrow here on It's a Beautiful Day. Love you.
Thank you so much, Coach V. And we have an educational dilemma here. As soon as you said pamamanhikan, si Mo.
I'm sorry.
was like, ano yan?
What's that? I don't know what
Okay,
that is.
so,
I'm so sorry.
Paano natin to i-explain yung pamamanhikan,
Yes.
Coach?
So, pamamanhikan can be directly translated to, you know, that stage wherein you want to marry the girl, so you have to ask for permission. But sometimes it's also loosely used as like courtship, like I want to ask for permission. So sometimes instead of going to the house, now they message first.
Oh,
They
so it's
build
just asking
relationships
for
online.
permission.
Yeah,
Yes,
pero-
asking for permission.
But even to date,
Yes, correct. That's
can I go out and can I go and see your daughter?
So like you asking somebody, like the parents, that's a
Yes,
pamamanhikan.
yes. But sometimes also they're best friends.
Interesting.
asking for
Yeah.
permission from the people who they care about.
Yeah.
No, actually, this is true because, right, I just came back from Italy. So I just want to make an example. My cousin who got
Gosh.
married, she's very
Okay.
like traditional Filipino American, and her parents are very traditional Filipino. Her husband's a white guy, and it took them a while to get used to him just because he doesn't really understand the Filipino culture. But what made him stand out and what made them say, yes, you can marry him, he actually went to the Philippines with
Yeah.
them for 3 weeks, and he did everything. You know what I mean? Like from the U.S. to the Philippines, there's some aspects where we're still technically considered a third world country, right? So what we have here is not what
It's not the
the
same,
US
and
is,
you have to
right?
get used to it,
So
yeah.
what he went through here and the way he really tried to meet like the whole barangay, the whole family, eat all the foods, that made them say,
Win
okay,
it
yes,
over.
you can marry our daughter.
Wonderful.
So see,
Yeah.
I
it
wonder
works.
if he tried balot. But
He tried everything.
because
I'm pretty
sometimes
sure.
that becomes an initiation right for the Pinoy
No,
and the
100%.
foreigners.
100%. And can I just say, I also agree with the
Go ahead.
Spotify playlist. So I actually have my MD and I have our own Spotify playlist that we always update.
What's the title of your Spotify playlist,
Oh no, it's just
Pao?
our names. It's just our names. Pero yung maganda doon is like maraming inside joke. I mean like tipong saan ka nakakita ng playlist, nandun si Michael Bublé, si Frank Sinatra, pero meron kang hagibis doon. 'Di ba? Yung yung katawan.
Now you gotta
Mahilig
translate
kami
that.
sa Anyway,
Romantic
It's
pala si Paolo del
amazing.
Rosario. Wow.
Yes, low-key
Low-key
romantic siya. Yes.
non-violent, but romantic.
hey, if it's obvious, it's not great.
Violent.
But anyway, Coach
Yes,
V,
ma'am.
thank you so much. I
Thank
really
you, guys.
appreciate you. Pamamanhikan, Google it, learn it. And thank you so much for joining us. That is it for us this Wednesday, June 25. Ako po si Paolo del Rosario. Thank you so much for joining us.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. Have a great Wednesday ahead. Join me in Googling Paolo's Spotify playlist.
Oh,
You can
no, you
listen
won't
to
find
it.
it.
Join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a beautiful day!